Hello. I want to personally congratulate you for choosing to be such a proactive parent and for taking action to download this free report to help your kids succeed. Seriously, knowing how hard it probably is for you to do this with a complete stranger, you totally deserve a big pat on your back. There are so many parents out there who claim to care about their child's education and say they are willing to do whatever it takes to help their kids succeed. But truthfully, all they really want to do is outsource their child's education and future. For you to actually take personal responsibility for your child's education and to take real action to request this cheat sheet, you definitely are not one of those outsourced parents. And you clearly really do care about helping your kids become successful in school and in life. And that makes you awesome. I'm Christine Allen, and I'd love to help parents do whatever it takes to help their kids succeed in life. By being proactive and staying involved with your child's education, you are giving your child the biggest competitive advantage they can have to stay ahead of their peers, and you're providing a huge edge and a jump start to help them build a wonderful future. You and I both know for your kids to stay ahead in this uber competitive world, your kids can use every advantage they can get. So make sure you go through the cheat sheet carefully, which should be in your inbox in a few minutes, and watch this video to the end. It will really help speed up this process and help your kids become successful, not just in school, but in real life. The reason why this is so important is because the world we used to live in just doesn't exist anymore. Gone are the days where you can just study hard, go to college, graduate, and find a good, stable job that will keep you well into old age, eventually retire, and live happily ever after. Yes, you already know those days are long gone, and you're likely feeling the effects of it right now, and you know it's not going to be any easier for your kids. The internet has fundamentally changed all that. Your kids will be competing against the best and the brightest, not just from the US, but from around the world. Children that are raised by the tiger moms of the world, children who start school at 7 o'clock in the morning and don't finish until 5 o'clock, which is pretty standard in Asian countries, by the way. Children who spend all their spare time practicing piano and violin, going to after-school math and science classes instead of playing video games. While you may or may not agree with their teaching methods, goodness knows I don't. But nevertheless, these are the other kids that your children will be facing when they grow up. And your child will be left behind if you are not proactive in helping them build a strong academic foundation so they will know how to learn. Unfortunately, this is exactly what's going on for many children and even young adults here in the United States. Not learning the basic skills like multiplication, division, and reading comprehension when they are in grade school, but they're still forced to move on to the next grade when they're really not ready at all. And they go on, not really earning the grades required to get into a good college, but the system still pushes them through. They fumble their way through college without identifying their strengths and discovering their own true passions, which is so crucial to help them excel in life. These kids continue to struggle to find a job that's fulfilling and pays well while offering long-term stability and growth opportunities. So they end up living in a state of constant insecurity and discontent, bitter and cynical, feeling like a victim. Everything is messed up for these kids and their kids as well. These kids feel discouraged, frustrated, and pushed to do something, anything to show that they are not, quote unquote, a loser, like everyone else has labeled them to be. Meanwhile, parents are disappointed and anxious watching their child wasting their life away with video games and junk TV, fearing for their kids' future and dreading the possibility that their kids will never be able to become truly independent, sucking off them well until adulthood or worse, living at home until who knows when. So as a parent, you push harder and harder trying to get your kids to study more, and the kids feel more pressured and pushed back with all sorts of behavior issues while their schoolwork continues to suffer. It becomes a vicious cycle, and unless you, the parent, finds a way to break through and hit and reset this cycle, your kids will continue to struggle with their schoolwork, and you will both continue to feel frustrated and helpless. Yes, This is exactly what your kids need, a reset button. No, I didn't say an easy button. I said a reset button. You see, there is no magic bullet when it comes to learning, and the fundamentals really matter a lot. Every new thing that your children learns builds on what they learned the previous day, the previous week, the previous month, and most importantly, the previous year. If there was a gap somewhere in the lower grades and they couldn't quite understand a math concept, or the teacher rushed through an important lesson on grammar, unless you or someone else goes back and helps them relearn it, or learn it for the first time and help them catch up, it will become more and more difficult for them to understand the materials they need to be learning right now in the higher grades. I haven't ever met a child or an adult who is stupid or slow when it comes to learning. We all have an innate ability to learn things. It's a basic survival skill. The only difference between an A student and a D student is how much time it takes for each person to learn and comprehend new things. As long as we're given enough time and we're explained things in a way that we understand it, every single person will eventually get it. And do you know what the number one thing that determines how quickly or slowly a child will learn new materials? It all depends on how strong their foundation is and how well they learn and understood previous lessons leading up to what they're learning right now. Without a solid foundation that helps kids understand how to learn, they revert to memorization and just trying to regurgitate information they've collected without really comprehending and understanding. And that's when all the real struggles begin. A kid who didn't understand what they learned in grade 3 will struggle in 4, 5, 6, and the rest of their life. But thank goodness for this. If anyone is willing to identify the missing pieces in grade 3 and go back and help the gap for that D student, all of a sudden, everything that the child learned in grade 4 onwards makes sense. And they can and will catch up very quickly and start doing well in school again. This missing gap is like a water dam, blocking all the water from flowing downstream, slowing and preventing a student from fully learning anything that comes after that. But once you remove the dam, all this potential that's blocked up and waiting upstream will rush down the river, flooding them with new knowledge, and they will catch up almost instantaneously. Once you remove the dam, it is not uncommon for me to see a D student who suddenly gets it become an A student within a semester or two. And let me repeat this. No child is stupid or slow. Every single one of them, including yours, has the innate ability and the desire to learn. If they all want to do well in school, if given a choice, and they can and will do well, if you just help them fill in the missing pieces and remove the dam, and you can see a dramatic turnaround in a very short period of time. Let me tell you about this kid that I'm working with, and his name is Ben. When he was very young, Ben's parents thought both him and his sister were very smart. Starting in first grade, there was problems that Ben was having that his sister wasn't. He was starting to struggle, but they just felt he was just a little slower than the rest. But soon he was way behind and qualified for an IEP, where he was diagnosed with the learning disorder and given extra help. But it didn't seem to help him at all. In fact, we now understand he felt he was stupid and he will never be able to learn. Once he felt that way, he shut down completely. And this happened about third grade. Even if you are lucky enough to be in a school that cares about your child, they don't have the resources to help every single child the way they need to be helped. When he started getting 35% on grammar tests, 40% on his history test, and his parents has had enough, they needed to reach out, and they reached out to me. We started working with him and right away realized he was really, really smart. But his brain just wasn't ready to learn and sit still in first grade. And since he was labeled, again, he believed he was stupid. And once anybody thinks that they're not good at something, they're not going to do it well. However, once we showed Ben how smart he was by engaging him with topics that he likes, after a short while, he actually started believing that he was smart again. and nothing is stopping him now. In less than 3 months, he went from failing almost all of his classes to getting A's and only a few B's on everything. And he is putting more effort than his parents has ever seen. We are now talking about adding languages such as Latin and Chinese to what we work with him because he is picking up all of his school subjects with ease. You see, if someone like Ben, a kid who is labeled with a learning disorder, and is given up on by his parents, his teacher, and even his health, he can become interested in learning and excel in school again. There is really no reason the same thing cannot happen to your kid too. Yes, they can become interested in learning again. Yes, they can become good at math and science. And yes, they can become a good reader and a good writer. All of these things are possible for your child. And what's even better is that they will gain more confidence and become more sociable once they actually have what it takes to succeed in school and in life. Once they learn how to learn, they will be ready to take on any challenge in life. And no matter how the world continues to change, and goodness knows with all the new technology that will come along and replace things like Facebook, cell phones, or even, who knows, the internet. As long as your child has the ability to truly learn new skills and adapt, they will also have the confidence and courage to face the world head on. Those are the people that will ultimately become successful and lead a happy life. If your child is struggling in school, the most important thing is to help them identify the gap. And sometimes we have to go back years to find that. But once you find where that dam is located, blocking them from really getting new concepts, now it becomes easy to remove, allowing the water or knowledge to rush downstream. This is really the most crucial step in helping your child succeed in life. And if you feel you need help with this, I would love to help you. If your kids are struggling in school, be it math, science, English, or any other subject, it really doesn't matter. And you think you'd like someone to help identify that gap and figure out where the real problem began, I would love to get on the phone with you and go through what's going on. I've put together a quick survey to help me understand what's going on with your child. If you would like to help identify this gap and remove the dam, just click the button below this video and fill out the survey. I personally go through the survey, and either myself or my assistant will reach out to you and set up a time for us to connect. There's a process that I've used many times to help identify the gap quickly, and I'll give you some idea of what you can do to help them fill in the missing pieces. There's absolutely no charge for this call, so just click on the button below this video if you think this will be helpful to you and your child. Obviously, once we identify the missing pieces, preventing your child from learning and succeeding in school, if you'd like me to personally help you help your kid, we can have a discussion about that too. But there's absolutely no obligation at all. What's more important for me is to help you identify this gap for your child so you can help remove the block that is stopping them from truly learning. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to catch up. It is not impossible, and it is never too late, but you do want to start this process as soon as possible to make your life and your child's life easier. So if your child's future is important to you, and if you're still watching this video, I'm convinced that it is, let's get on the phone right away and identify the missing pieces that are stopping your kids from learning. Your child can become happy, confident, and excel in school and in life, and I love to do whatever it takes to help you help them. Just click the button below this video and fill out the quick survey to get started. Your child's future is too important to wait. Just click the button below and get started, and we'll talk again very soon. Thank you for being one fantastic parent. Have yourself a great day.